This is Chris from Atlantic Outboard, and this is your digital delivery of your new Robalo R207. If you're trailering the boat, which most of these 207 customers are, first thing you want to do is ensure that your drain plug is installed. Drain plug threads directly into here. Okay, you do not want to put the boat in the water without your drain plug. Next thing you want to do is, if it's on the trailer, most likely you're using the trailer support. So this motor would be tilted up, and then this lever here would be supporting the weight of the motor. So you'd want to do that in reverse. So what you want to do is you want to give the motor power by turning on your battery switch, tilt the motor up to its highest point, and then you flip this support up. So now it'll allow that motor to come all the way down. Let's take a look inside. In your new Robalo 207, once you're in the boat, first thing you want to do is make sure your power is on. So you access your battery switch down into here, okay? Want to make sure it's powered on. If you have dual batteries, 12 o'clock position is off, your 6 o'clock position engages both batteries. I typically tell my customers to use both batteries at the same time. There's no reason to separate 1 and 2. Just go to both. This way it's cranking on both batteries and you're charging both batteries. Under this middle seat here, you have access to your live well, and then you have additional access to your bilge on this side. Your saltwater washdown connection is here. You can thread in a small coiled up hose to that. You have your ski tow. Moving forward, you have rod storage underneath each gunnel. You have storage below deck. Once you get on your new boat, the first thing you want to do, like I said, is ensure that your battery supply power switch is on. Now you want to come up to the helm with your key and engage your safety lanyard into the key switch. The boat won't start unless you have your safety lanyard on. The motor will crank and you'll get an error code on your gauge if it's not attached. So the first thing you want to do, turn your battery switch on, put your safety lanyard on, and then start your motor. Let the motor begin to warm up. Up here on the dash, these are generic panels. So you may or not have trim tabs, but you'll still have a trim tab switch. So you have your live well. Once you hit your live well switch, it'll pump salt water into the live well. If your boat is equipped with underwater lights, it'll have a dedicated switch. And then you have blank accessory switches. As you add more components to the boat, if you need another switch, there's one available. Over on this side, you have your horn, your navigation lights. That's if you're running in the dark, you would need to turn that on. Your aft bilge. Now the bilge pump is hardwired to the battery. So even if you shut your battery switch off and water gets into the boat somehow, the bilge pump will have power to be able to pump that out. Now, if you manually want to turn the pump on, you just flip this switch. If there's any residual water in that bilge, it'll shut it off. You have courtesy lights that'll illuminate the deck. If you're fishing at night or you're cleaning the boat in the dark, you'd be able to illuminate the deck to see what you're doing. You have head lighting. That'll power the light that's in the head compartment, and then you have another blank accessory switch. This has the tilt helm mechanism. You push the button down and then it'll let you articulate the helm. Your GPS would be located here with a power supply button on it. These are your Yamaha gauges. They're going to give you your fuel capacity, fuel burn, RPM, the tilt position of the motor. All that data will be displayed here. There will be an owner's manual in your owner's bag for quick reference of that also. On the shifter itself, directly up at 12 o'clock is neutral, and this shifter actually locks into place. You squeeze the trigger, and then you push it forward. That would engage it forward in gear, and in reverse, you pull it backwards to reverse the motor. And then as you bring it to neutral, you'll hear it click back into neutral. On your bimini supports, these are spring loaded. You'll see there's a little groove in it. So you make the groove so your bimini support legs are able to slide in there. Once the bimini leg is in, you just spin this to lock it in place, and that's on all 4 legs. Your boat will come with a light pole. If you're running the boat at night, you would need to install the light pole and then turn on your navigation lights. Up here on the dash is your Bluetooth stereo. It's very easy to pair the Bluetooth to your smartphone. If you're having any troubleshooting issues, I recommend you Google or go on YouTube with that exact model, and it'll give you a step-by-step on how to pair. Most customers will have no problem with it. It pairs very easily. Moving to the head compartment on this boat. It's a great place to store your cushions, as we've done. Your porta potty is located down there. It's a two-piece system. If you do use the porta potty, it unbuckles. You could take it out, and there's a holding container to dispose of the waste. You have storage rack that you could put miscellaneous supplies. It's pretty basic, but right now we currently have all the cushions for the bow area stored in there. Behind the dash, you have additional storage, very good dry storage. And then this is a divider door. In a cold weather situation, you could close the windshield, and then you can close the divider door, and then this will lock it in place. This is going to block all the wind from coming into the back of the boat. Up front, you have storage under each seat. This is where the cushions would go, but under each seat you have some storage, stereo speakers, and then you have a dedicated anchor locker. These tabs will open up to allow you to pull the anchor out, and then once your anchor is out, you set it into place, drop it in the water, it'll fetch up on the bottom, and then you're going to want to cleat it on one of your cleats on the port or starboard side of the bow. All these buttons are for your bow cover, and then there's additional snaps on the windshield that go for your cockpit cover. The cockpit cover will cover this entire cockpit area and snap back by the motor. On the R207 Robalo, there's additional access to your bilge in front of the motor here in the motor well. There's going to be a plastic inspection plate. You simply unscrew that, and it will give you direct access to your bilge pump and your through-hull ball valve. It's very important that all boat owners know where your through-hull ball valve is. If there's ever an emergency where you're taking on water for whatever reason, first thing you do is isolate that ball valve. Then your bilge pump would catch up. What that ball valve does is it allows for a through hull for water to be sucked from the ocean into your live well or to service your saltwater washdown. So two components below that inspection plate are your bilge pump and your through hull ball valve.